Hello, everybody, and welcome to the hopefully new and improved Ask Robert. I've been getting a lot of emails lately. Like a week ago, I'm like, "Hey guys, send some of your emails for topics for videos you guys might want me to talk about." And I was actually surprised when I got back from my trip from Tampa Bay Comic Con. I had a lot of emails. I had like 30 plus emails. That's way more emails than I thought I would have. I just want to let everybody know, thank you so much for the emails. If you guys want to email me, you can just email me at robertstormsmail@gmail.com, and maybe you'll get your question on the show here, or I will do a separate video just specifically on your topic if it's a topic that is relevant to the current events in the comic book movie world. So just want to let everybody know, I went through each and every question you guys sent, topic you guys sent, so I just want you guys to know that I did personally go in and read each one. I went through and I handpicked 6 questions that we're going to talk about here on the show today. And if your question hasn't gotten picked, it's for a couple reasons. I emailed some people back saying, look, your question is just too long, I can't fit it on the space here, can you shorten your question? Or there was multiple questions that were the same topic, I just happened to randomly pick one. So if you don't have your question picked, don't worry, I plan on doing these shows more often. I'm looking for maybe every Wednesday, or at least maybe on Saturday and Sunday. It's really going to depend on what day of the week there's really like a low traffic of news. Because really today there hasn't been that much news going on in the comic book world, where yesterday there was a lot of news with Ruby Rose and all that. So today I thought it would be a good day to just go through, handpick about 6 of them. Also, letting you know, this is going to be a much different show than I normally do on my channel, where I go through, do a lot of editing, add jokes, skits, and all that. I'm going to be drinking coffee, and I'm just going to be sitting here answering your questions and talking. That's what we're going to do. I'm thinking about maybe sometime in the future, maybe doing this live, where I randomly pick like 6 questions and I talk about it live, and then maybe take a couple of live questions at the end of the show. I'm thinking about that, but it really depends on how well this particular episode goes, or the next few episodes of this show actually goes. It really all depends up to you guys. And also, I want to do a huge shout out and thank you guys so much for helping me get over that milestone of 16,000 subscribers. Wow, 16,000 subscribers. Now, if you guys have been a subscriber for a while, or maybe a new subscriber, I do this thing where every time I reach 1,000 subscribers, I do a live Q&A. So ever since I went to like 3,000, 4,000, I do like a 15,000 subscriber live Q&A. And I do plan on doing that 16,000 subscriber live Q&A. I'm thinking maybe this Thursday, or it's going to be next Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't really decided yet, because I have some things I have to go take care of tomorrow. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to go about doing that. But don't worry, I will post it in the community tab. You guys will know when I go to do it. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter at robertstorms84. I'll let everybody know I'm there as well. So with that said, let's get to the first question. Let me drink another sip of coffee in my giant size X-Men #1 cup. Let's go to the first question, and it's brought to us by Joe Rivera, who writes, "Hey Rob, what is your personal favorite comic issue, series, and why?" So my favorite comic issue of all time is actually a 2-part issue. So it's kind of like, I'm kind of like not being fair to the rules here. He said 1 comic issue, but my favorite comic issue, if I had to choose, is probably Amazing Spider-Man 121, which is the death of Gwen Stacy. That storyline tears me apart. I love what Gary Conway and John Romita Sr. did in that issue. Was just fantastic. And then you get the second parter with 122. 122 is, I'm obsessed with that cover. Right, the cover with Spider-Man's holding Gwen Stacy in his arms and Green Goblin's like flying above him. John Romita, what he did with that cover is fantastic. I'm obsessed with that cover. I own that cover like everywhere. I like have a giant poster. I have a canvas. Like anywhere I see that cover in a different like a plaque or different size picture, I always pick up that cover because it's my favorite cover piece of all time. I love that storyline so very much. And the death of Gwen Stacy issue 121 was heartbreaking. And then to see what Peter was going through in the next issue in 122 is even more heartbreaking, because now he's coming to terms with what he has done had really caused the love of his life to die. And it was just a phenomenal two-part story arc. Just love it. I constantly reread it all the time. If you ever read Spider-Man Blue, it was a love letter to Gwen, and they kind of recap some of the events. A fantastic storyline. Just like I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. It's just one of my favorite storylines ever in comic books, and it really comes down to that issue 121. It's just a fantastic, story. As for comic book series, I'm talking about like a series of comic books. Right now, like, if the one thing I have to suggest, like I always say, everybody read Invincible. Read Invincible. If you haven't heard of Invincible, read it. It's the best superhero comic book of all time. But the best comic book series that I would have to say of all time, besides Watchmen, is Why the Last Man, written by Brian K. Vaughan. I own all the trade paperbacks. I own all of the single individual issues. I have the complete series. Love it. It's so fantastic. If you don't know anything about it, this virus breaks out that kills every man. With everybody with the Y chromosome, which is male. Every male is extinct except for Yurik and his pet monkey. And you go on this journey with him trying to find his girlfriend Beth, and you find out that the world's come to an end, and these women are creating these gangs called the Amazons who cut half their boob off to show how strong they are, that they don't need men. It's really, really detailed, very, very adult, and just a fantastic overall story what Brian K. Vaughan was able to do. And just they're finally getting a TV show. It's finally getting a TV show. They just casted the TV show, and I can't wait. But the problem with the TV show is going to be on cable TV, so they're not going to be able to take it to the next level like they could do on a Showtime or HBO or Netflix, which I really wish they would have done. But Why the Last Man, you have to read it. It's fantastic. It's only 60 issues. I think it's 10 trade paperbacks. Read it. It's fantastic. Trust me, you'll love it. So let me get some coffee and go to the next question. Okay, second question comes from Nick Smith. Hey, Robert, so I'm wondering, what movie would you remake and why? I love the show and your content. Thank you so very much, Nick. Really, thank you so very much. Which movie would I remake and why? If I had a legit choice, and I'm somewhat kidding, but I'm not really kidding, I think they should remake Justice League. Because you look at Man of Steel. Man of Steel was a movie that I had a lot of problems with when I first seen it, because I grew up with the Christopher Reeve movies, and I felt like Superman has a certain feeling to it. And I thought Man of Steel had a lot of problems, especially since it just came off the heels of JMS's interpretation of Superman with Superman Earth 1 Volume 1, which I just thought was a fantastic retelling of that origin. And then Man of Steel came out, and I had a lot of problems with it. But over the years, that movie grown on me more and more, and I really, really liked that movie. Batman v Superman had a lot of problems, but if you watch the Ultimate Cut, it fixes a lot of those problems. And then we have Wonder Woman, which I thought was a fantastic movie. So Justice League comes out, and there's no redeeming qualities of that movie whatsoever. There's just nothing redeeming. Danny Elfman come in to score it. He scored the original Tim Burton Batman, but the music in that movie in Justice League doesn't fit Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, or Wonder Woman. He incorporates some of Hans Zimmer, but he doesn't incorporate enough. Yes, I like Batman's Tim Burton theme, but a lot of people who grew up with the Man of Steel and Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman, has that extinct notion of that music in their minds now. So they want to hear that. I've seen people on YouTube who redid Justice League and put Hans Zimmer's music in it, and you'll be amazed at the complete tone difference that just the music makes. So I would really like to see them go back, redo Justice League, still have Zack Snyder do his actual vision. I want to see Steppenwolf from Batman v Superman, not this CGI Corbel looking. I think that's the movie that needs to be remade. Me personally, but that's just my opinion. Let's go to the next question. Thank you for sending in the email, Nick. Woo! Hold on, let me get notes up here. Next question comes from Eric Shaw, who writes, do you think Warner Brothers will move the Shazam release day since it seemingly gets overlooked between Captain Marvel and Avengers 4 coming around the same time? Yeah, so if you guys aren't familiar, Shazam and Captain Marvel are coming out at the same month, right? Like, I joke around going, oh, two Captain Marvel movies coming out the same exact month. We finally get Captain Marvel movies, and we're getting two Captain Marvel movies in the same month. Because if you guys aren't aware, Shazam is Captain Marvel. When like back in the 40s, during the golden age of comics, Shazam was a character created to go up against Superman. Like, Superman was selling so well. It was like the highest selling comic book of all time. So this other company created a Superman wannabe. He was a generic Superman called Captain Marvel. And when he said Shazam, he became a grown adult who looks a lot like Superman and pretty much has the same power set as Superman. But then when the comic book industry kind of crashed, a lot of these little companies had to sell their properties, and DC ended up acquiring Captain Marvel. But then I think something happened with Marvel, and Marvel took the name Captain Marvel, but DC took the character, and then they changed it from Captain Marvel to Shazam. So in essence, Shazam is Captain Marvel. And I believe in a few of the animated cartoons, they still refer to him as Captain Marvel. So yeah, we're getting two Captain Marvel movies in the same month. I honestly think they need to change the date. They need to move the date because Captain Marvel, Marvel's Captain Marvel, is going to have a lot going for it. One, it's the first ever female-led superhero film for Marvel Studios. Two, she got a huge push by the end credit scene of Avengers Infinity War. So that, in essence, already has people intrigued, like, oh, well, how's this going to connect? Plus, you're bringing back Sam Jackson, Kobe Smulders, and Clark Gregg, who plays Coulson. And, a lot of fans are fans of those characters. I'm a huge Coulson fan. Love Coulson. So just to see these characters come back, a lot of people are going to go see this movie. Plus, you're bringing Ronan back in. So there's a lot of intrigue for the Captain Marvel movie. Plus, it's probably going to lead right into Infinity War. Now, people want that next chapter. Then you look over Shazam. Shazam, I thought, was an awesome trailer. I preferred it over the Aquaman trailer, even though I liked the Aquaman trailer. But Shazam is the movie that I want to go see. Right? It looks awesome. It looks like Big meets Superman. And, it just looks like a fun, enjoyable time. But you can't be coming out the same month as Captain Marvel, man. Be realistic. Move it up a couple weeks. Go into a different month. Go try to hit it before Captain Marvel comes out. That's what I would do. But yeah, I definitely think they need to move that release date. So yeah. Next question comes from Jenna Alexandri. Hi, I'm a huge fan of your YouTube. I would like to know your opinion about Batman. Is Ben Affleck still Batman for the upcoming Justice League? Thank you. Not too familiar. I'm not sure what you mean by upcoming Justice League, because there is no upcoming Justice League, right? We have the Justice League movie that just came out. There's no plans for a Justice League 2 whatsoever. You gotta understand. Justice League 1 lost Warner Brothers money. That movie lost money in the theaters. It never even made its budget back. So they have no plans whatsoever to be doing a Justice League 2 anytime soon. Now, Matt Reeves is currently working on a Batman movie, and there's so many conflicting reports coming out about this Batman movie. Like, one week it's an origin story that's going to be based off of year one. The next week it's not an origin story, and it's going to be based in the DCEU. And then the following week it's not in the DCEU. So we are getting so many conflicting reports on this Matt Reeves Batman that we don't know. Is Ben Affleck going to be Batman? Is he not going to be Batman? At this point, who really cares? Right? It's clear that Ben Affleck doesn't want to be Batman no more. He has a contract. Let him come in, fulfill his final role. Put him in Shazam movie for a cameo. Oh, your contract is up now. Now you can go do whatever you want. Who cares? As of right now, there's no concrete information. All the sources that I follow said he is out. We're just going to have to wait, because right now, we don't know anything about Batman other than Matt Reeves is directing a Batman movie. That's all we know. So thank you for sending in the question. Next one comes from Colin Davis, who writes, Storms, I was thinking on this. In the Ultimate Universe, Venom does not have the spider logo. Okay, you're correct on that one. Which, as you know, is where Miles Morales is from. Could it be possible that Venom and Into the Spider-Verse are in the same universe? No. For the simple fact is, one's animated, one's not. That's like saying, hey, Is the Miles Morales is Into the Spider-Verse connected to Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Now, the anime, okay, like I understand your question, and it brings up a good point, right? You bring up a good point, well, maybe it's connected to the animated movie somehow. And if that's really going to come down to if we see Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield in the movie. That's what's going to come down to. Because there was rumors that Andrew Garfield was going to be voicing one of the Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse movie. So it might be possible that actually does happen. And if it does, I guess technically, it's sort of like saying, like, in the DCEU, you got the multiverse. Does the CW universe exist in the multiverse? You would have to say, yeah, it kind of does somewhere. So, yeah, I guess Venom loosely does take place somewhere in the Ultimate Universe Into the Spider-Verse. But that doesn't mean it's directly in that universe that Miles is in, because it's not. And the reason why he doesn't have that spider in the Ultimate Comics, and you got to realize also that Peter Parker was involved in the Spider-Man in the Ultimate Comics as well. Peter Parker was the main character until he died off, and then Miles took his place. So, yeah, the reason why he doesn't have that spider is because it was two different circumstances on how Venom became Venom in the Ultimate version compared to the Amazing Spider-Man. So, do I think they're connected? No. Can they possibly be connected? We won't know until we actually see Into the Spider-Verse. So, I mean, I like where your head's at. I like that you're thinking, but we're just going to have to wait and see. So, thank you for sending in your questions. We're going to get to the final question now, which comes from Akaya Nixon, who writes, "Hey, Robert, with Star Wars The Last Jedi being so divisive, I completely butchered that, guys. I'm sorry. With the fans, what does Episode 9 have to achieve in order to end this trilogy off well? Also, after Episode 9, what do you think of the future of Star Wars is?" This is almost like the Ben Affleck thing. Like, we need to flip a coin to see what kind of news we're going to get that week. I mean, so I think what JJ needs to do is he needs to retcon a lot of shit. I just got done watching Last Jedi like a day or two ago again. Like, I love that movie. There's a lot. Now, don't get me confused. I know a lot of people are writing in their comments right now, "You dumb motherfucker, you soy boy bastard." Right? Like, calm down. I'll be the first one to admit there's a lot wrong with that movie. Like every time Luke throws that lightsaber over his shoulder, I just want to go in that TV and punch Rian Johnson. That really pisses me off. It pisses me off that Holdo sacrificed herself. Meanwhile, Akbar gets killed off screen. There's a lot of stuff in that movie that really pisses me off. Right? Don't even get me started with Canto Bight. But there's also a lot of really good stuff in that movie. And I think people constantly forget the good stuff and only look at the bad stuff. And I think JJ kind of needs to go in and retcon some stuff. Because it's clear if you watch Episode 7, then you watch Episode 8, it's like two completely different movies here, man. It's like this movie's going in this direction, and Last Jedi's going in completely other directions. Like, nowhere is this the same story. And I think JJ needs to come in, retcon some stuff, maybe make Rey a Solo, make her Leia's daughter, Luke's daughter, make her connected to somebody, and you just you need to play fan service. You need to start telling the fans, "Oh, wait, we're sorry, here you go. If it was me, and I was JJ, I would have the scene from The Force Awakens where Rey's handing Luke the lightsaber, and I would have the beginning scene of The Last Jedi where Luke takes the lightsaber, and right when he throws it off, just play the entire Last Jedi movie in flashbacks, and then have Luke go, "Oh, he just had a Force vision. Everything you saw in Episode 8 was a Force vision. None of that actually happened." And instead of him throwing the lightsaber, he takes the lightsaber, and then he goes and trains Rey. And then Episode 9 will be a direct sequel to Force Awakens, and everything that happened in Episode 8 was just a Force vision of what could happen. That's what I would do. It would be brilliant. It would be saying, "Fuck you, that all the shit you fucked up." Now, it will be like basically giving Rian Johnson the middle finger. And like I said, I like Last Jedi, but you have to, if JJ had an idea of what he wanted to do, he needs to go with that idea. And by doing that, if he did like a fucking Force flash, like a vision and saw that, that's what I would do. I would love to see if JJ had the balls to do that. I don't think he was going to do that. And as for your second part of your question, what's going to happen at the end of Episode 9? What's the future? Well, now Disney's talking about releasing Star Wars movies every other year instead of every year. So what's going to go on with the Benioff and Weiss series of movies that they're going to do that we all think is the Old Republic. Are they going to do that? What's going on with the Rian Johnson trilogy? What's going on with the spin-offs? Nobody knows because Disney doesn't know. They're waiting until Celebration to announce some stuff, and maybe even closer to when Episode 9 comes out before they announce that stuff. But as of right now, they don't know. They don't know. So I can't really guess until we find out, are they going to stick to the one a year? Are they going to do every other year? I don't even have a clear explanation or an answer for you, so I apologize. But I want to take this time and thank each and every one of you guys for watching the video, sending in your questions. If your question wasn't answered, there's probably a couple reasons for that. Maybe your question was just too long or so on. But I encourage everybody to send in your emails to @robertstormsmail@gmail.com. And then next time, maybe I'll pick one of your questions. I want to thank everybody for watching and subscribing to the channel. And until next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.